Everybody keeps asking the same question. Will AI take my job? But I believe we're asking the wrong question. The real question is this: what are you becoming while the world is changing? Because here's what nobody is telling you. AI may not replace you tomorrow, but a professional who understands your job, understands AI, solves problems faster, communicates better, and produces greater value. That person could become your competition. I'm Eric Donaldson. After 20 years managing multi-million-dollar engineering assets in aerospace and oil and gas, I've watched technology transform entire industries. And what I've learned is this: the people who survive every industry shift are not the smartest ones in the room. They are the ones who adapt the fastest. Today, I want to help you stop fearing the future and start preparing for it. Let me take you back for a moment. When computer-aided design first entered engineering, people panicked. They said drafting tables would disappear. They said engineers would become obsolete. Sound familiar? What actually happened? The engineers who learned CAD became more valuable, not less. The tool didn't replace them, it multiplied their capability. The same thing happened with CNC machining, with programmable logic controllers, with predictive maintenance software. Every single time, the technology changed the task, but it did not eliminate the need for skilled professionals who understood what they were doing. Here's the pattern I've observed over 2 decades. When a new tool arrives, a strong professional doesn't panic. A strong professional asks one question: how can I use this to become better at what I already do? That's the mindset shift. Stop seeing AI as a threat to your job. Start seeing it as a tool you can master. But let me be direct with you. If you refuse to learn, if you decide this doesn't apply to you, if you dismiss AI as a passing trend, then yes, you are at risk. Not because AI is so powerful, but because your competition is getting stronger while you're standing still. I've seen this play out before. The engineers who refused to learn 3D modeling didn't lose their jobs overnight. But 5 years later, they were managing smaller projects, earning less, and wondering what happened. The world didn't wait for them. The world will not wait for you either. AI cannot replace responsibility. Now let me tell you something that should give you confidence. AI can generate recommendations. It can analyze data faster than any human. It can draft reports, suggest designs, and even write code. But there is something AI will never be able to do. AI cannot take responsibility. When a piece of equipment fails on a rig in the middle of the ocean, someone has to make the call. Someone has to say, "We're shutting this down." Someone has to put their name on that decision and live with the consequences. When safety is involved, AI doesn't carry the weight. When a multi-million-dollar project goes wrong, AI doesn't stand in front of the board and explain what happened. When people need leadership in a crisis, they don't turn to a machine, they turn to a person they trust. This is where your experience becomes irreplaceable. After 20 years in aerospace and oil and gas, I can tell you this: tools provide information, but leaders provide judgment, and judgment cannot be automated. The professional who understands this distinction will never be replaced. Because organizations don't just need answers, they need people who can own the outcome. Stop competing on tasks, start competing on value. This is the biggest mistake I see professionals make. They build their entire career around a job description. They define themselves by the tasks they perform. I run these reports. I check these specifications. I manage this process. Here's the problem. If your value is tied to tasks and AI can perform those tasks faster and cheaper, you have made yourself replaceable. The alternative is to build your career around problems you know how to solve. Don't say, "This is what I was hired to do." Say, "This is the problem I know how to solve." That's a big distinction. Let me give you an example. An engineer who says, "I design piping systems," is competing on tasks. An engineer who says, "I solve fluid transport challenges in high-pressure environments," is competing on value. Do you see the difference? One is a commodity, the other is an expert. When you compete on value, AI doesn't threaten you. AI becomes another tool in your toolkit. You use it to solve problems faster, communicate better, and produce greater results. The professional who understands this shift will thrive. The professional who ignores it will wonder why their career stalled while everyone else moved forward. This isn't theory. I've watched it happen across multiple industries for over 20 years. The people who focus on value always win. Learn AI without losing your humanity. Now I want to talk about something that matters deeply to me. As you learn these new tools, as you develop these new capabilities, do not lose what makes you human. Critical thinking, integrity, communication, leadership, judgment, accountability. These are not soft skills. These are the skills that determine whether you lead or follow. I've seen brilliant technical professionals who couldn't communicate their ideas. They had the answers, but nobody understood them. I've seen talented engineers who couldn't lead a team. They had the competence, but they lacked the character to earn trust. AI can give you information. It cannot give you integrity. AI can generate words. It cannot give you wisdom. AI can suggest solutions. It cannot give you the courage to stand by your convictions when it costs you something. The professionals who will lead in the next decade are not the ones who know the most AI prompts. They are the ones who combine technical capability with human character. This is something the world doesn't talk about enough. We're so focused on what AI can do that we've forgotten to ask, what kind of people are we becoming while we use these tools? Faith and wisdom in a changing world. Proverbs 22:29 says, "Do you see a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mean men." The Bible never taught us to fear excellence. It teaches diligence, wisdom, preparation, stewardship. Technology changes, principles don't. God is not surprised by artificial intelligence. He is not worried about what humanity has built, and He is not calling you to hide from the future. He is calling you to be faithful with what He has placed in your hands. Every tool, every capability, every opportunity, these are resources you will give an account for. The question is not whether AI exists. The question is whether you will use it wisely, with integrity, for purposes that honor God and serve people. Faith and technology are not enemies. They never have been. The same God who gave engineers the minds to build bridges and design aircraft, that same God gives wisdom to navigate a world of artificial intelligence. Don't fear the future. Prepare for it. Learn the technology. Strengthen your character. Develop your leadership. And ask God for the wisdom to know how to use what is in your hands. Here's what I want you to take away from this conversation. AI is not the end of your career. It is a test of your willingness to grow. It is an opportunity to become more capable, more valuable, and more effective at everything you do. But that will only happen if you make the decision to adapt. Not next year, not when you feel ready, now. The professionals who thrive in the next decade will not be the ones who run from change. They will be the ones who run toward it. I'm Eric Donaldson. Follow me for leadership, engineering excellence, and building a legacy that matters. And before you go, I want to ask you something. What are you doing right now to prepare yourself for the future of work? Put it in the comments below. I read them and I want to hear from you. If you believe that faith, leadership, and excellence still belong together, hit that subscribe button. Join this community. We're building something different here, and I want you to be part of it.